How's it going, guys? So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Super Mario movie that we heard about. We've been hearing about it for a while, but in the most recent Nintendo Direct from September 23rd, just a few days ago, we heard the casting for this movie, and it has really garnered quite the response, and mostly due to one individual in particular, and that's Chris Pratt, who was cast as Mario. Many people, especially SJWs all over YouTube and especially Twitter, have voiced their disapproval of Chris Pratt. I, for one, actually am quite excited about this. I think that this is actually a good thing. Chris Pratt also said in his own little video, his own little selfie video, said that he's actually working on the voice. He's not going to sound like Chris Pratt, but most people are not worried about Mario sounding like Chris Pratt. They are more concerned about Chris Pratt, who he is as an individual. They're concerned about his politics, which is very interesting because the man's never really voiced his politics. He's actually voiced how he doesn't want to be involved in that shit, and that's what really shocks me, how everybody comes after. They're also going after where he attends church, and but let's talk about this film. So there's no footage at all. We got an appearance from Shigeru Miyamoto, and he doesn't really that frequently appear in these directs, so that was something to speak about. But let's go through these casting choices here. We've got, as I just said, Mario is Chris Pratt. We've got Peach being played by Anya TaylorJoy, and I have to say I really don't know who that is. I looked her up. I kind of recognize some of the films that she's in, but I'm not really too sure. I gotta be honest, I don't know if this is a good casting choice or not, and it's not really fair to con because I really haven't seen any of her films. Luigi is being played by Charlie Day, who I like. I'm a fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. No, I haven't caught up on the last few seasons, but I have seen the majority of them. I kind of, fell off with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia around 2013, 2014, so I'm pretty far behind, to say the very least. But this to me, I'm really not too sure. I think this is going to be a humorous performance, but I kind of feel like Charlie Day, just as I know him, I feel like he'd be a better fit for Toad, which is actually being played by Keegan Michael Key from Key and Peele, the two-man comedy skit show that was on Comedy Central. Not a big fan of this guy, not a big fan of his partner, Peele either. But I guess it's okay. I just feel like Charlie Day would kind of fit this. When you kind of think of the character of Charlie on It's Always Sunny, you kind of, and the way that Toad always talks, and I know we're not going to have video game voices. We're not going to have Toad sounding the same way. Even though we never really had Toad talking at length, you hear the sound of his voice in the games. And I don't know, when I think of those sound effects that Toad makes, I kind of think of Charlie Day and his antics. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'm sure a few people could probably get the picture of what I'm trying to say here and what I'm getting at. Charlie and the way how he is kind of has like Toad-like tendencies, I will just say. We've got Bowser being played by Jack Black, and Shigeru Miyamoto, who doesn't really comment on too many people. He says that Chris Pratt is a cool guy, and he says Mario is going to have many speaking parts. I thought it was interesting that he said, it's almost like people under the impression there's not going to be a lot of dialogue. Like, he made a point saying, yeah, he's going to be talking quite a bit, and he made that a point. He said he's also expecting a really spirited performance from Jack Black. So I kind of feel like Shigeru Miyamoto, who's overseeing this project, is greatly into this. I mean, he wants this movie to be a success. He doesn't want it to turn out like the original movie, which really I think kind of gets overblown at how bad it is. I'm not saying that was a good take on Mario at all, but like as a standalone film, if you watch it, there's enough to like there. But yeah, as a Mario film, it really under-delivered to say the least. But that's conversation for a different day. And Shigeru Miyamoto revealed who is going to be producing this film. It's Chris Meledandri, and this guy produced Despicable Me, all the Despicable Me films. And you want to talk about great family animated films. I mean, this is what we're talking about right here. And I'm pretty sure Shigeru Miyamoto saw the Sonic movie, or he's knows of it at least. He saw the success of that film, and he saw Drew Carey. So obviously we're getting a comedic actor in the form of Jack Black to play the bad guy. So you can't tell me that there's not a little similarity there, that performance didn't lend itself to that choice being made. And I mean, I don't think Shigeru Miyamoto is calling these shots and making these picks, but he must be consulted about them. Does he think that they would portray these characters good? I mean, because this is the man in charge of these characters. Now, they didn't really do that so much with the Sonic movies. Kind of like the creators just kind of sat back and said, kind of whatever. They voiced how they felt about it and shit like that, but they didn't really get too much into the film. They kind of just let Jeff Fowler kind of call the shots and do how he saw fit. Of course, there was the fan uproar, and you don't think that Shigeru Miyamoto is not watching, and that they're probably going to be very careful when they roll out that footage of Mario. I mean, I can't really see them going for a huge, massive redesign on Mario. Let's not forget that the way that Sonic looked in the final product, though good, it wasn't exactly as he looked in the game. So, do you think that maybe they might try to put their own little spin on it? I mean, if they want to do a few little things here and there, I'm not against it, but it's kind of like, why change it? It doesn't really make any sense to do such a thing. And I know, producers and directors kind of want to do their own little thing, make little adjustments here and there. But and I just think it's kind of better off that we don't mess with the color scheme or the face or anything like that. I think we should just kind of keep it how it is. Donkey Kong is going to be in here, and not only Donkey Kong, but we learned that Cranky Kong is going to be making an appearance. And it seems like they made a point that we're going to have some Donkey Kong, and this is kind of exciting, but I'm not really too sure how I feel about having stoner Seth Rogen as as a voice of this beloved character. This year, I mean, I think it's a bit of a weird choice, and I know, because, if you kind of, look at DK and you look at the character that he portrayed, especially if anyone's a fan of the old animated series, which I actually really enjoy that show and kind of want to rewatch it sometime very soon. I think that it kind of fits in the way because he's a little bit laid back, but Seth Rogen's kind of a little bit too laid back. But, then again, they're actors. They can play these roles, but, Seth Rogen, I'm not really too sure about this choice. It'll be interesting to say the least. We've got Kamik being played by Kevin Michael Richardson, and I guess I should say, who that is. Kamik is the magician guy. He's also the one who stole Mario away from Yoshi and Yoshi's Island, the guy with the blue wizard outfit. And Kevin Michael Richardson is quite the experienced voice actor, to say the least. The number of video games, I knew I heard that name before, and he's been in movies, he's been in shows. If anyone's ever seen The Batman, which I never really gave that show much of a chance, but he played the Joker on that show. That was a show that was on the WB back in the day, 2004 to 2008, I saw. Also, though, I mean, his voice is in Jedi Outcast. He played the gangster Relo. Also, he played Hulk Davidson in one of like my favorite GameCube games of all time, Beautiful Joe, underrated classic. This guy has a nice, strong voice, and I could kind of see, him playing this role. So I think that this sounds really good to me. We also learned that Charles Martinet, who is the voice of Mario in all of the games, up to the present day, he is going to be doing cameos throughout the movie. Shigeru Miyamoto commented, and that's interesting. It's kind of cool that they kind of have him in there. That they decided not to go with his voice throughout the movie. And I know this upsets a lot of fans. They feel like Charles should have been the voice throughout the movie. But if you look at his credits over on Wikipedia or IMDb, you can see that Charles has never really done a full movie or TV show. He's been a character actor. He's done little voices here and there. He's done voice clips for Mario, but he's never really voiced huge, productions, been there for a whole movie. So I can definitely see why, they want to give a little homage to the Mario voice actor for the games, but not cast him as the main character. As even though that's who he is. And I know that might sound a little fucked up, but I kind of agree with the way they're going on this production for that. Cranky Kong. I knew I recognized the voice actor here, Fred Armisen. If anyone's a big fan of Kirby Enthusiasm, such as myself, if you've ever seen the episode where he uses the handicap parking permit from some guy that he befriends, that's who the guy is. And I kind of I really popped when I saw it. I was like, oh, that's nice in a way. It's just a shame, who would really play Cranky Kong really well, I thought, without a doubt. It would have definitely been Ed Asner in my mind. I mean, just think of anyone who knows Ed Asner, if you've ever heard his voice. I'm pretty sure you have. If he did Cranky Kong, that man, he knows how to be cranky. As I'm just saying, that would have been so perfect, but rest in peace. Ed Asner, who passed away just about a month or so ago. Not even. What a shame, because I think this would have been the perfect role. And I don't really know too much about Fred Armisen, but, he was funny in the episode of Curb that he starred in. And last but not least, Spike is being played by Sebastian Maniscalco. And, it's kind of funny that they even mentioned Spike. It's kind of funny. It's also funny because Spike was in the much hated Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s. And the fact that they're actually going out of their way to cast somebody in this role, I kind of find hilarious because he's not a main character. If anyone is curious who Spike is, he's this guy. Yeah, he's the guy that basically barfs up spiked balls and throws them at the Mario Brothers. I can see Kamik, because Kamik has got a lot of face time, and he's played some pivotal roles in the Mario games. So I could see why they would tell you about Spike being in this movie, but you would think like Spike would be a side character. But apparently, that's going to be really funny. I mean, I look at Spike here and I hear Maniscalco's voice. Aren't you embarrassed? Like, could you imagine if he says that line in the film looking like that? I think that would be just a fucking hoot, to say the fucking least.
Aren't you embarrassed?
All right, so yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this film. I mean, why wouldn't I be? Growing up with Super Mario, loving these games even as an adult. I mean, damn, this is gonna be quite exciting. It's an all-star cast, and people are upset, and I gotta say, loosen up. I'm pretty sure going into this, I think it's going to be decent at the very least. Like I said, I was a big fan of the Sonic film, and some people kind of bashed it. Even a lot of the Sonic fans on here. You know, some call me Johnny. You know, some people were very overly critical of that film, and I just had so much fun watching it when it came out. I don't know. I don't know how so many people had such a dislike for it, to say the least, you know, to put it mildly. But yeah, this film is going to be released in the holiday of 2022 worldwide, they said, and we've got our release date here. We've got December 21st of 2022 for the US, so it's still a long way off. And you know that many people are going to be waiting, including myself, with bated breath for that footage, for that first teaser trailer or main trailer. It's probably going to be a teaser. But yeah, I think a lot of these casting choices are interesting. Some of them are a little bit perplexing. You know, I wouldn't think Seth Rogen for Donkey Kong, but when you kind of, you know, think about the personalities of these people, I also said, like, I think that they kind of made a misfire there with Charlie Day. I think Toad would have been the better selection there, but, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I think that Chris Pratt is a good pick, and I think that that was a good way of going, a popular actor, you know, that will probably add a lot of spice to Mario. I'm very interested to see how the voice is going, because he said he's working on the voice and he's going to reveal the voice when he finds out, you know, that sweet spot for Mario. So we'll just have to see what happens. But until then, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought about the casting choices down below. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. I want to thank all my patrons for your continued support. And thanks again, guys. I will see you next time.